Module Objectives. In this module, you'll review case studies of accidents involving powered industrial trucks and what can be learned from them. You will learn about common powered industrial hazards in workplaces, as well as hazards caused by operators. Finally, you will cover how to avoid or eliminate these hazards while operating powered industrial trucks. After this module, you should be able to 1. Name workplace conditions that may cause hazards for operators. 2. Relate operational mistakes to powered industrial truck hazards and accidents. And 3. Describe safety procedures and preventative measures that can reduce or eliminate powered industrial truck hazards. Powered industrial truck accidents. Sometimes, accidents occur when operating a powered industrial truck. Accidents may range from collisions with fixed objects to collisions with other vehicles or powered industrial trucks and other related incidents. Powered industrial trucks are consistently in OSHA's list of the top 10 most frequently cited standards. For this reason, operating a powered industrial truck comes with serious responsibility. This section covers different case studies of powered industrial truck accidents. Case study number 1. One morning at a waste management facility in Maryland, USA, a forklift operator was tasked with using their Yale diesel-powered forklift to load empty recycle bins on a bed of a flatbed trailer so they could be transported to their next destination. The flatbed trailer was parked on a gravel surface, and a concrete pad was located next to the trailer. The forklift operator was loading stacks of 10 bins at a time for a total weight of approximately 400 pounds for each stack. 2 of the bins from a previously loaded stack had fallen off the flatbed trailer onto the gravel surface next to the flatbed trailer. The forklift operator began to attempt to reload the 2 fallen bins by driving over to them. When the operator drove over to the fallen bins, one of the forklift tires sank into a deep rut that was in the gravel surface. When the forklift tire sank into this rut, it caused the forklift to suddenly overturn or tip over, which resulted in the operator being crushed between the gravel surface and the forklift's roll cage. The employee did not survive the injuries from this incident. There are some lessons we can learn from this tragedy. As stated several times in this course, you must always be aware of the surfaces that you are traveling on so you can avoid uneven terrain that would cause your forklift or the load you are carrying to become unstable. Also, if your powered industrial truck does begin to tip over in a worst-case scenario, remember to keep all your limbs inside the truck and avoid reaching out to brace the fall, as that increases your chances of becoming pinned or suffering severe injury. Case study number 2. In the next case, an employee obtained an electric pallet jack and drove it to a stack of products that needed to be moved across the floor to the order selector lines. After delivering the products, the employee drove the pallet jack back to where he had obtained it. He let the handle of the pallet jack move upward to its normal position to apply the brake while he stepped off the pallet jack. However, the pallet jack failed to stop. The employee's foot was crushed between the pallet jack and some nearby stairs, resulting in his hospitalization. The employee later stated that he operated that same pallet jack a week prior, and he noticed the brakes weren't functioning properly. He brought it to the attention of his foreman, who had instructed employees not to use the pallet jack and planned to place a sign on it that it should not be used. The sign was not placed on the pallet jack prior to the incident. This case reminds us of the importance of removing a powered industrial truck from service immediately when it has a defect or is in any way unsafe. The next module, Module 4, Inspections and Maintenance, covers when to remove powered industrial trucks from service in more detail. Case study number 3. In the last case we will investigate, a forklift operator working for Averitt Express Inc. was driving their forklift in reverse down an incline. While operating the forklift in reverse, the operator accidentally misjudged the direction and one of the forklift's tires went over the side of the incline ramp. When the tire went over the side of the ramp, it caused the forklift to fall off the side of the ramp. The operator was ejected from their seat and the top of the forklift landed directly on the employee's body. The operator was then pinned against the canopy of the forklift and the cement ground beneath. This individual did not survive the crushing injuries they sustained. Similar to the previous incidents we investigated, this was a preventable occurrence. If your powered industrial truck has one, you should always secure your seatbelt prior to operating it. When backing up on a ramp or similar incline with a steep fall on the side that is unprotected, you should reach out for the assistance of a spotter who can help you safely maneuver your truck in reverse off the steep platform. If you don't feel comfortable in a situation when operating your truck, immediately stop what you are doing and ask for help instead of risking an injury to yourself. Workplace hazards. As an operator, you need to be aware of potential hazards in your workplace. Not paying attention to these hazards will put you and everyone around you in danger. The following is a list of some of the hazards you should be aware of while operating your powered industrial truck. Expand each section to read more. Heavy traffic and narrow spaces. If you are driving down an aisle that is very crowded with workers or objects, walk down the aisle first. Make sure everyone is aware that you will be coming down with the truck in a moment and that they should remain a safe distance from you. Move any objects that may be in the way of your truck or any loose material on the floor. Doing this assures that you won't run anything over, damaging the item or your truck. If you come across a pedestrian while driving your powered industrial truck, recall from Module 2, Operating a Powered Industrial Truck, that the pedestrian always has the right of way. You must stop your truck and wait until they are a safe distance away before you continue your path. If they appear to be unaware that you are waiting for them, honk your horn and signal them with your hand or lights to move away to a safe distance. You should never assume where the pedestrian is going to walk, nor assume that they will be out of your way by the time you get to their location. If you need to turn at a congested intersection or have low visibility, stop before turning. Sound your horn so everyone can hear you coming around the turn, and take the turn very slowly. If possible, have a spotter in the intersection to pause traffic and create a clear path for you to travel on. Inclines. It is crucial that you never turn on an incline because this will shift the center of gravity of the truck to the side, causing it to tip over. If you need to make a turn, do so before or after the incline. Never speed or drive recklessly while on an incline. If your powered industrial truck has forks, always drive with the forks pointing upgrade when carrying material on an incline. This will prevent your material from sliding off. If you're traveling on an incline without material, always travel with the forks pointed downgrade. This will help you with braking and traction while moving up or down the incline. Floor surfaces. Always be aware of the floor surface you are traveling on before transporting material, because it affects how the powered industrial truck will travel. The tires on your truck are also an important factor to consider with the floor type. For instance, if you are traveling on a smooth, slick surface with bare tires, it will affect how you brake. If you're traveling on rough terrain and your truck has forks, lift them a little higher to accommodate for uneven ground. This will prevent your forks from hitting the surface while you are driving over the rough terrain, possibly snapping a fork, tipping over, or dropping your material. Additionally, you will not need as much time to brake on rough terrain as you would if you were driving on a smooth, slick surface. Good housekeeping does wonders to improve the safety of you and everyone around you. For example, dry off the surface when possible if you are inside a building. If you must drive on a wet surface, slow down. If operating outside in the rain, drive slowly with caution and keep the brake of the truck dry and free of obstructions. Uneven surfaces are also a concern. Watch out for any cracks or potholes that may appear in the path that you are traveling. It may not seem like a big deal to drive over a crack or pothole, but this could lead to your truck and load being uneven and unstable, resulting in your material or truck tipping over. Recall how a deep rut on a gravelly floor surface caused the forklift from the first case study in this module to tip over. If possible, repair all cracks and potholes immediately and do everything possible to avoid them. Hazards caused by the operator. In addition to the hazards in the workplace that can cause danger to an operator, there are also hazards that can be caused by the operator. The best way you can prevent a hazard as an operator is to be properly trained. A few hazards that can be caused by the operator are the following: using wrong attachments, using the wrong type of powered industrial truck, overloading, neglecting maintenance requirements, and driving recklessly. You should always be aware of the attachment you have on, the approved task for that specific attachment, how it changes the capacity and stability of your truck, and how it changes the overall operation of your truck. If you need to change an attachment and the new one is heavier than the previous one you were using, remember that you can no longer transport the same weight of material you were transporting earlier. If you are unsure of what attachment you should be using, always ask a manager or look in your truck's manual. You will use different types of powered industrial trucks for different tasks. When choosing which truck to use, take into consideration the carrying capacity, how high you need to lift, and if you're going to be indoors, outdoors, or both. If you are unsure what truck to use for a certain situation, you should always ask a supervisor or look in the truck's manuals. Before you load your powered industrial truck, always check the weight of your material and make sure it is compatible with your truck's weight capacity. If you transport material that is over your truck's weight capacity, the truck could tip over, and if it is equipped with forks, they can break. While you're checking the weight of your material, double-check that the material is stable and secure enough to transport. If the material is unstable or unsecure, the truck is at high risk of tipping over. If your material falls off your truck because you did not ensure it was stable or secure, it could potentially fall and land on a pedestrian, or it can fall and knock something else over, hitting or crushing a pedestrian. The material itself could potentially break, or it can break something that it hits while falling. An easy way to avoid all those hazards is by taking a couple extra minutes to make sure your material does not exceed your weight capacity and that it is stable and secure before transporting it. Real-world example. You are a certified powered industrial truck operator working for XYZ Warehousing Company. One of your daily tasks is to move heavy material from the assembly line into racks. After the assembly line has completed an item, it is marked for its weight so the truck operators can see. Your truck is rated to lift 6,000 pounds safely. You notice one of the items you must transport from the assembly line is marked at weighing 6,050 pounds. What should you do in this situation? A. Use your normal truck rated at 6,000 pounds to transport the material and drive slowly to avoid an accidental tip over. B. Park your truck rated for 6,000 pounds in a safe area and acquire a truck with a load capacity rated higher than 6,050 pounds. C. Use your current truck to push the material across the floor until it is at its desired location in the warehouse. D. Ask another operator to lift the material with their truck and your truck at the same time to evenly distribute the weight. Proper maintenance of your powered industrial truck may seem like an inconvenience, but taking the time for daily checks can help prevent breakdowns and extend its life. Inspecting your powered industrial truck and performing the right maintenance helps you catch small problems before they become big issues. For instance, you should be checking the brakes daily to prevent a catastrophic and potentially deadly accident. If your truck has them, checking your tines daily is also important. If you drive with damaged tines, you could drop a heavy load, potentially breaking the material and tipping over your truck. Module 4, Inspections and Maintenance, will cover proper maintenance of powered industrial trucks in more detail. Remember, proper maintenance on your truck is one of the easiest ways to protect yourself and other employees. Reckless driving is another huge hazard that can be caused by the operator. When you drive recklessly, your chances of injuring yourself or someone else increase dramatically because you are not fully paying attention to what you are doing. By driving recklessly, you also put your truck at serious risk of tipping over. Whether you are speeding, racing, or just fooling around with your powered industrial truck, you are potentially putting your life and someone else's life in danger. Remember to always drive slowly and with caution. Incident reporting. When involved in an incident, you must report it to your supervisor immediately after confirming everyone is safe. You can improve the accuracy of your report by reporting the details immediately. Your company may have a policy that requires you to complete an incident report within a certain amount of time. Depending on the severity of the incident, you may also have to complete an OSHA report. It is best to always seek advice from your supervisor if you are unsure if an incident needs to be reported to OSHA or not. When reporting an incident, include the following information: type of incident, where it occurred, date and time of the incident, a description of who was involved, a description of what happened, any injuries, and any treatments that were required, and a list of any witnesses. Regardless of how minor you may think the incident is, you should always report it immediately. Reporting an incident immediately is required under the terms of workers' compensation policies. Whether you bumped into an object, damaged an item in the workplace, caused damage to the powered industrial truck, dropped material, tipped over, hit or injured a pedestrian, or injured yourself, it should be reported to your supervisor. When an incident happens, take control at the scene and try to restore order. If anyone is injured, provide first aid, then call for emergency services if necessary. Assess the area and prevent any potential secondary accidents from occurring. Identify anyone involved and conditions at the scene and preserve any physical evidence if necessary. You must report an incident to OSHA that involves one of the following: death, hospitalization, amputation, and loss of an eye. If it involves an inpatient hospitalization, amputation, or eye loss, you have 24 hours to report it to OSHA. A fatality must be reported to OSHA within 8 hours. Consult your supervisor if you want to know who owns this responsibility. Module Review. In this module, you learned about common powered industrial truck hazards, such as busy work areas, inclines, and uneven floor surfaces. You also covered how operational mistakes can create hazards for powered industrial truck operators. Lastly, you learned that incidents must be reported to supervisors immediately, and depending on the severity of the incident, it may need to be reported to OSHA. Some key takeaways from the module include: never turn or speed when operating a powered industrial truck on an incline. When choosing which powered industrial truck to use, consider the carrying capacity you will need, how high you need to lift, and where you will be operating the truck. Know your powered industrial truck's weight capacity, the material or load weight you are carrying, and whether it is stable. Report all incidents as required by OSHA and your company's policy. Be aware of the path you're driving. And you must operate your powered industrial truck differently depending on the terrain you are operating on.